A long time ago, in what is now Angola, there lived a girl named Nzinga. She wasn't born into a peaceful world. Her homeland was under constant threat, from other tribes, from slave traders, and most of all, from the Portuguese. But Nzinga didn't grow up afraid. She watched, she listened, she learned. And one day, when her people needed her most, she stepped forward, not just as a leader, but as a warrior queen who would fight for her people's freedom. The Portuguese had been coming to Africa for years. They wanted land, power, and most of all, slaves. They forced their way into kingdoms, set up forts, and traded weapons for people. The kingdom of Ndongo, where Nzinga was born, was one of their targets. Her father, the king, tried to keep peace while still protecting his people. But it wasn't easy. The Portuguese were clever. They made promises, broke them, and came back with soldiers when things didn't go their way. Nzinga grew up in the middle of this storm. But instead of being kept away from politics like most girls were, she was taught how to lead. Her father saw something special in her. She was smart, brave, fierce. She learned how to speak Portuguese, she studied war, and most importantly, she understood how power worked. She knew that fighting wasn't always with swords, sometimes it was with words. When her brother became king, things got worse. The Portuguese wanted more land, more control, and her brother didn't know how to handle them. So he turned to Nzinga. She was sent to meet with the Portuguese governor to try to make peace. This moment would change everything. The meeting took place in 1622. The governor welcomed her, but not with respect. He gave her no chair, hoping to force her to kneel in front of him like a servant. But Nzinga didn't flinch. She looked around, saw one of her servants nearby, and calmly had the servant kneel down so she could sit on their back like a throne. She wasn't about to bow to anyone. Not now, not ever. That one move said everything. She wasn't just there to talk. She was there to show them that she saw herself as equal, or maybe even greater. She spoke with power, calm, and intelligence, and somehow, against all odds, she got them to agree to peace. She even convinced them to stop raiding her land for slaves. For a moment, it seemed like the fighting might end, but it didn't last. The Portuguese broke the agreement. Again. They kept stealing people from her kingdom, burning villages, and pushing their way in. Nzinga knew that talking wouldn't stop them this time, so she made a decision. If peace wouldn't protect her people, then war would. When her brother died, Nzinga became queen. Some people didn't like it. They said a woman couldn't rule. But she didn't care. She didn't ask for their permission. She dressed like a man, led like a man, and went to battle just like any other king would. She even started being called king by some of her warriors, not because she wanted to stop being a woman, but because she wanted to show that she could do everything the men did, and more. And then she did something even more surprising. She moved her entire kingdom. Instead of staying in Ndongo, where Portuguese forces were closing in, she built a new power base in Matamba. She took in refugees, people who had lost their homes to war and slavery, and gave them protection. She turned Matamba into a safe place, a strong place. She built an army made up of people who had nothing left to lose, and taught them how to fight for something bigger. Nzinga didn't just fight with weapons. She made alliances with other African tribes. She reached out to European powers who hated the Portuguese and made deals. She used every tool she had, diplomacy, war, and strategy, to hold her ground. And when the Portuguese came with armies, she met them with fire. There were many battles. Some she lost, some she won. But no matter what, she never gave up. Even when it looked like the war was impossible to win, even when other leaders surrendered, Nzinga kept going. She'd rather fight for her people's freedom than live in comfort under someone else's rule. One of her greatest victories came when she captured key Portuguese allies and forced them into peace talks. Her enemies started to realize they couldn't beat her by force. She was too smart, too fast, too determined. For decades, Nzinga held off the Portuguese, and not just with swords and shields. She built schools, protected trade, strengthened her government. While fighting a war, she still found time to make her kingdom stronger from the inside out. That's the kind of leader she was. As she got older, she started thinking about the future. She didn't want everything she built to fall apart after she was gone. So she worked on making real peace with the Portuguese, but this time, on her own terms. She wanted to make sure her people could live free, trade fairly, and stay safe without war. And somehow, after years of battle, she made it happen. Queen Nzinga died in 1663, at around 80 years old. That's already incredible on its own. 80 was a rare age back then, especially for someone who had lived through so much. But even more incredible, she ruled for over 40 years. She faced one of the biggest European powers of her time, and they never broke her. After her death, the Portuguese tried again to take control, but the systems she built, the lessons she taught, and the courage she left behind lived on. Her kingdom didn't fall. Her legacy didn't fade. Today, in Angola and across Africa, Nzinga is remembered not just as a queen, but as a symbol of strength, pride, and resistance. Her face has appeared on money. Statues have been raised in her honor. Her story is told to children in schools, to remind them that even in the darkest times, someone brave can rise up and lead. Nzinga's story isn't just about battles. It's about standing up when no one expects you to. It's about not letting others decide your worth. She was told she couldn't lead, that she couldn't win, that she should give up, but she never listened. She didn't need anyone to hand her power. She took it by being smart, strong, and unshakably proud of who she was. Even when the world tried to erase her, she made history. Queen Nzinga didn't just survive, she ruled, she protected. She crushed an empire's plans with nothing but her mind, her heart, and her refusal to quit. She did it,